proposal to make online sports betting legal here in California say they have enough signatures to get the measure on the November ballot.
But it's not the only game in town. Native American tribes are pushing an in-person sports gambling measure, and it's already qualified for the ballot. CBS 8's
Richard Allen looks at the intense competition for billions of dollars that this currently banned form of gambling could generate.
From baseball to basketball, soccer to hockey, and even football. Right now in California, it's not legal to place a bet on college or professional sports teams. More than 30 other states, though, have already legalized sports betting after the Supreme Court gave the go-ahead 4 years ago. And this fall, you'll get to decide whether California will also get to play the odds.
And also decide how they'll get to play. Come this November, Californians will likely have at least 2 different sports betting options to vote on.
Let's take it slow, let's get it right. Things could always be expanded in the future.
Cody Martinez is chairman of the Sequan Band of the Kumeyaay Nation, which is backing the Tribal Sports Wagering Act. Already qualified for the ballot, it would permit in-person sports betting at tribal casinos, as well as 4 racetracks, including Del Mar.
It's the right step to take it to grow into sports betting in this state.
This measure would generate an estimated tens of millions of dollars for the state's general fund, according to the state's nonpartisan independent budget analyst, for education, transportation, and other priorities. Martinez also says this proposal is critical to helping tribes throughout the state advance their economic self-sufficiency.
Indian gaming on Indian lands for Indian economies.
It's a point that's being hammered home on television ads as well.
Join us. Protect the promise.
That promise refers to statewide support giving sovereign Indian nations the exclusive right to operate gaming in the Golden State.
More than 20 years ago, voters passed a constitutional amendment approving Vegas-style casino gambling here in California only on Indian tribal lands.
We are making true of the promise on our end.
A competing proposal, which appears likely to qualify for the ballot, calls itself the California Solutions to Homeless and Mental Health Act. This measure, led by national gaming companies DraftKings and FanDuel, would allow online sports betting, which is currently legal in more than 20 other states. The state's budget analyst estimates it would generate hundreds of millions of dollars, which would be earmarked for programs to combat homelessness and support mental health services.
I think it would be transformational because
Tamara Kohler is CEO of the Regional Task Force on Homelessness here in San Diego. She's a strong supporter of this proposal, which she says would provide a dedicated revenue stream year after year to fight homelessness.
A significant amount could bring over $30 million annually to San Diego, and we're not taking away from any other state programs.
Kohler says this measure could help provide desperately needed dollars for everything from homeless outreach to shelters to housing.
We're not trying to carve it out of what already exists. It's really capturing funding that we think is already happening, but bringing it intentionally to the state for us to use it for this purpose.
Critics, though, say this proposal by out-of-state corporations would not only break California's promise with tribal nations, but also would not deliver on its promise to tackle homelessness.
Just because you make more money available doesn't mean that it's going to fix the problem.
Housing is not affordable in California. And so having more dedicated resources is needed. It's not throwing more money at the problem, it's actually backfilling where we haven't invested for years.
Other opponents, including the Deputy Sheriff's Association of San Diego, charged that this online sports betting measure would lead to underage gambling.
This is just going to create addiction at a much younger age.
Rick Callender is president of the California-Hawaii State Conference NAACP.
This means that every phone, every tablet, every computer, every video game in California would virtually turn into an online gambling machine that kids would be able to take advantage of. This is not very well thought out.
And while critics remain skeptical, backers of the online sports betting measure contend that effective safeguards would be put in place to prevent minors from placing bets, including technology used by financial institutions to verify a customer's identity.
I think the safeguards that they're proposing is learned over time from other states, and I think it is absolutely the best that we can do and that we should do.
And while voters won't have the final say for another 6 months, the possibility exists that both measures could pass. Arizona, for example, recently hashed out a plan to allow for tribal and online gaming. Here in California, though, it's a safe bet that if voters ultimately greenlight both proposals, lengthy litigation would be in the cards. Richard Allen, CBS 8.